Welcome to Vibes and Side Eyes, where the tea is hot and the takes are hotter.
Hey, it's your girl Maria J.
And I'm Taylor May. Welcome to the podcast where we discuss real life, pop culture, and everything in between.
We're bringing you the good vibes.
And the side eyes. Let's
Let's
get
get
into it.
into it. Hello, y'all. Welcome back to another episode.
Welcome, you guys. Oh my gosh. I hope y'all have been enjoying these episodes. Is this episode 4?
This is episode 4. We are 4 in.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It is, y'all. We have been getting so much good feedback. I was actually going through the comments today, and y'all have been showing mad love. So we appreciate y'all for sure.
Absolutely. So let's not wait. Let's get into the vibe check.
Got me a nap in today. The week went by pretty fast, and I think that Texas really surprised us because the weather has been crazy these last couple of days. We had
Ooh,
thunderstorms, and it's cold outside. So welcome back,
um,
winter. We thought you were gone.
I guess the groundhog was correct.
Absolutely, yes. How is your
Well,
week going?
yeah, it was a very busy week. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't bad though. It was just like extremely busy where you just feel like you're just barely catching up with everything. It was kind of like that. So it's like bittersweet because it's good to be busy. Obviously, job security, we love that. But,
Yes.
it's hard to keep up sometimes. But all in all, I appreciate it. Everything was great. And, overall, everything's fine.
Y'all, and even y'all can chime in a vibe check too. How was y'all's week? Did y'all have a
Yeah,
crazy week? Was it chill? What happened? Let us know in the comments.
let us know. All right, time for some popcorn and opinion. I will get it started. So my popcorn and opinion is a pretty big one. Something that's been happening over the last week or 2 weeks at this point, I think. And that's the war. Yeah, the
Yes.
war. Unfortunately, my opinion on the war is we should not be in one. Okay, and that is my opinion today. It is frustrating. I did say in the vibe check that I'm all good, but like mentally dealing with the whole state of the world thing is I kind of separated it from my vibe check. But if I added it in, it's a little daunting. Not gonna lie. It's a little scary at times. I have to limit what I watch and all that because, it can get a little intense. But especially because the American news is not reporting it correctly. I actually have like a news source that I go through that is non-American because they are showing the real situation. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, it's not great right now. People do not like us, and I understand why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. That's one where I'm just like, anytime I look online and I see what's going on, I'm just like, why? Because it's literally over nothing. Like, we're doing
No
all of this for fame and control, and it's terrible.
power,
Innocent
money.
people are losing their lives. If I could just gather it all and just burn it, I feel like the world would be so much
Legend.
better without it. Because again, money and power in the wrong person's hands, this is the kind of stuff that we have to end up dealing with. Like, why are we even fighting people? And then that brings me to another thing. You are talking about the war and then also the gas prices. Can we chill? They
That's
just they
because of
just
the
keep
war.
climbing.
That's because of the war
Mm-hmm.
for sure. It's just like y'all had
Yes.
no game plan. Not that y'all should have had a game plan, but if you gonna do it, at least have a plan. And it's like they didn't have that.
Mm-hmm. And I
It's
mean, not
just
just like one war at a time. It's like multiple wars at a time. Can we just pick
yeah,
one battle, fight that one, and then move
one
on?
at a
Or
time.
how
Please.
about just none? Yes.
Exactly. And that's the point. That's the
Mm,
overall. It's just like in 2026, why are we still having wars? Like they did that so like BC. Like why are we still having wars? That is so ghetto.
mhm.
It's like relax.
Right. Like, why? That should have evolved with everything else.
But yeah, so like that's my popcorn and opinion, and I'll
Mhm.
consult my lawyers to see how much we can leave in about my popcorn and opinion.
I'm telling you now, if anybody knocks on my door, I'm done.
Let me go ahead and give y'all her address.
So I know everybody has been the people have been raving the whole Jim Carrey situation, y'all. Let's talk about it real quick.
Ooh, and that's gonna tie in with our main
Yes,
topic. So I'm excited.
absolutely. This is going to be a treat for today. Y'all are going to be so excited. But y'all, so we grew up around Jim Carrey. We have Ace Ventura, we have The Mask, we have In Living Color. Like, we have watched him through so many different decades and waves. Do y'all really think that that was Jim Carrey at that award show?
Pigs, no.
Absolutely not. And I know y'all have seen like the video circulating where they're saying that Alexis Stone, the special effects artist, did a mask and made it look like Jim Carrey and showed up as him. I don't think that any of us are really buying that, because now we're in a point in time where we're really paying attention to details. And the details are not mathing. Jim Carrey's chin does not even look the same. Hold on one second. Okay, had to cough. Jim Carrey's chin does not look the same. The hooded eyes don't look the same. His eye color doesn't even look the same. And so I'm just like, it is not making sense. And then if you kind of look at the nose area, I think it was like the bridge of the nose and kind of like up here, it looks a little like tinted, like something's going on there. So I'm just not sure, but I don't think that our Jim Carrey would be getting Botox fillers and a facelift at his good old 64-year-old age.
Exactly. And here's the thing. We do have to say everything is alleged in this video and everything. But obviously there's always a 1% chance that it is him and he did for some reason get Botox and all that. We're just saying it's highly unlikely. And as fans of his, does not seem like that does not track with his brand.
Right. And well, and I'll get into it later on when we start talking about our main topics, but some of the different characteristics that he was showing too with that new persona, it did not match the Jim Carrey that we know. So something is up, y'all, but I think we're gonna kind of dig into that a little bit and see if we can pick some brains. Again, like Taylor May said, this is all going to be alleged, and we'll have a whole disclaimer for that, but that is my popcorn and opinion. Somebody is playing in our face.
I love that popcorn and opinion though. I really do. And like I said earlier, it's a good segue into our main topic. You guys, we are both actually geeked out right now. We're nerding out because we're going to be talking about something that we're so excited about, which is conspiracy. Conspiracy. Everything in this video is alleged and we are just speculating. Nothing is factual. That's what my lawyer told me. Yeah. This is just our opinion and is not based in any fact or reality. Thank you so much. We're just weirdos.
Yes, right. You can start reading about one subject and then it just turns into another video. Then you start Googling. You like, well, let me check into this person. And before you know it, child, you done opened up a whole file cabinet of conspiracies. We getting into it tonight.
Yes, girl, we are. And I'm so excited about it because if you ever clicked on especially on TikTok, like if you ever clicked on a TikTok video in the middle of the night and next thing you know, you're down a rabbit hole and now you're in all these different conspiracies. And I don't know, I've personally been through stuff like that. So as far as going through those rabbit holes, so you guys just relax, get your favorite snack and drink and, get your snack and beverage, cozy up, get a blanket, and let's go down a rabbit hole or mini rabbit hole.
Yes, exactly. Get your snuggies and let's go ahead and get into it. So, y'all, this one right here was, well, and so this one right here, I really wanted to bring it back up and pay a little bit of attention to it because I feel like we skated past this so quick. But y'all, when we lost Malcolm Jamal Warner, that hit. Cause you're like, what? And I'm the kind of person where I'm like, I know people die every day. You know, there's not something that is not normal. But some people, you lose them and you just like, what? And of course, I didn't know him in real life. We didn't know him. But that one was just a shocker. And then I kind of went down the rabbit hole of how he died. And I'm just like, it just does not make sense to me. So I was kind of thinking about how he was in Costa Rica and he was, on vacation or whatever in the water. And so he died from drowning. And so there was a big tidal wave. Now, it was said, allegedly, that he is not a strong swimmer. So I'm just kind of thinking in my mind, I'm like, if I know I'm not a strong swimmer, I'm not about to get in high tide water. It's just not making sense. So I don't know exactly what happened there. I know he was a big activist. He was for his Black community. He was down for the cause. All that, power to the people. And I'm not sure exactly, like, maybe what information he knew or what. Absolutely, I seen it, or or what he may have been working on the side, but like something just does not sit right with that. And it's funny because I didn't find a whole bunch of information on it, but just like the key pieces that were there just kind of made me wonder. It made me want to go a little deeper. What were you thinking about when you heard about Malcolm Jamal Warner?
Well, the first thing was I was just like really shocked, obviously, as the whole world was. I immediately was like, wait, what? He drowned in Costa Rica. And then to find out he couldn't swim well, I
Mm-hmm.
I will say as a parent, it is odd to me because I feel as though like okay, so like say me and my kid's dad, we were still together. If we went on vacation
Mm-hmm.
with Anaya, like I'm a good swimmer, he is not. So that is, but he can like wade in the water because he's tall or whatever. So like it would be odd for me to be like, hey, take Anaya out to the ocean. That seems odd to me to be like, yeah, like that should be the person taking the child out into the ocean.
Right.
I don't know. But I will say I've been to some beaches that had a really big pool, like a gravity pool to it. So with the tide and everything, so like even though you're on the edge, you're like not even in the whole thing, you can easily get swept up. So I don't know if it was that because I have experienced
Mm-hmm.
that. It kind of has you a little dizzy sometimes right there. If you know, stay there long enough, that back and forth motion kind of has you like weird. So I don't know.
Yeah. Now, see, that makes sense
Hmm.
because I'm one of them people, like, I don't know how to swim. I'll like hang on to the side and make sure that I have my balance. You can get pulled by the water because water has a lot of density to it. So it's strong, it'll pull you. So
Yes,
that is another thought. That does make sense.
they didn't say that. They
No.
made it seem like they were wading in the water, like in the water, like they was in it. And then some, like a big
Um,
wave came. So it was just kind of odd to me. But
mhm,
of course, there's always room for maybe they were on the, I forgot what that's called, the shoreline or whatever, and maybe they got swept
mhm.
up. Maybe that's what it was. Either way, it's terrifying and it's sad. But yeah, there's a lot to be speculated, mostly because they didn't really release a lot of information.
Right, they didn't. And I'm just gonna kind of keep following the story, see if anything else develops on it, because I'm just kind of, nosy. I want to know exactly what happened. Not to say that we can even trust a lot of stuff that gets put out, but
Yeah.
just to see, just kind of answer a little bit of questions and see what happened there. But I just wanted to bring that back up because I'm like, that just went by so fast. It's just like he was here, they showed his last video, and then it's like, okay, case closed. And that's the last
Yeah.
we heard about it.
It was just very odd, and I would like to know if there was a life insurance plan, different things like that. I mean, again, that's not our business, but we are nosy. And I think this
Mhm.
one is an interesting one because unlike a lot of the ones we're going to talk about tonight, it doesn't really have any conspiracy theories really out there. It's so
Right.
much little information that it leaves it so open to being a lot of conspiracy, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
It does. Yes.
Yeah.
It's giving like girlfriend left at home, no questions answered, and her mind just done took off. So it's like a lot of different things that you can come up with and say something about. And it's just like, well, who is this? And I even went down the rabbit hole of like looking into his wife, like who were her partners before him, and like literally nothing. I couldn't find anything. So I don't know, but all right.
Okay, okay, girl, we watching, honey. Okay, so honorable mention because you just said that and it made me think of it. But just a quick honorable mention. Y'all go do your own research. But it is something that makes me go, It's another husband and wife situation. Twitch and his
Mhm.
wife. And it gave me pause. So, did you hear about that? Did you know anything about that?
No.
Okay, you gotta go look into it. He was a famous dancer. He was on Ellen show, but he was really known for Save the Last Dance. But whatever that, you know what I'm talking about now.
Yes.
Yes, his wife is Allison Hooker. I think they're an interracial couple. That
Mhm.
whole story and situation is actually insane, and that one does have a lot of conspiracy theories. But that one is a developing one. I feel like there's just so many different things still kind of happening in that. So I don't know if it's okay to speak on that right now, but I just wanted to make that an honorable mention on this one.
Yes, absolutely. Because that was the guy that it was said that he unalived himself, right?
Yes, correct. Correct.
Yeah.
It was very odd. Very odd, actually. We could
I
probably do a
remember
whole
when that was
episode.
floating around. Yeah, that's a good one actually to
Yeah.
talk about, because and especially all of the things that have been circulating now around said person, not him, but the person that he worked for.
Okay, you
That's
got
a
it.
lot.
Yeah, you've been seeing it. Okay. Okay, you guys, let
Yes.
us know in the comments. We're going to probably do it anyways, but let us know in the comments if you want to see a deep dive, because that's giving deep dive to me. It's giving deep dive energy.
Uh-huh. Yes. These are some good ones. We already starting out good. So let us know about any of these ones that you have tried to take a deep dive into, or that you have heard about, or if you had your own opinions about them, let us know down in the comments.
So now we're going to talk about Antarctica and all the conspiracies. Well, not all, we don't have time for that. But we're going to do a few of the major conspiracies with Antarctica. Now, you may already be aware of it, but if you are not, I'm just going to read a few fun facts about it, and we'll discuss what I say. So it says some conspiracy theories claim that Antarctica hides alien bases or ancient civilizations buried under the ice, aka aliens. Conspiracy believers say that the U.S. military mission Operation High Jump, which happened between 1946 and 1947, was actually sent to fight or investigate a hidden alien base in Antarctica. Interesting. Some claim pyramids or ancient structures have been discovered under Antarctic ice through satellite images. Some other theories suggest a massive underground city or alien technology beneath the ice sheet. The Antarctic Treaty, that is a real thing. You can Google that. It limits military activity and promotes scientific research, which conspiracy theorists say helps keep secrets hidden. We're going to discuss that. Viral internet posts sometimes claim mysterious entrances, caves, or warm zones are portals to underground worlds in Antarctica. Also, it's really big to note that it is hard to get to many places in Antarctica. I think there's like a point in Antarctica where you are not allowed to go past there, and that is highly surveillance, which I find interesting. Maria J., what do you think about all that?
When I think about how our world is ran and how things can kind of be like right in our face, but not so much, like it's there, but not to where we pay that much attention to it, I feel like there's a lot of truth to it. Like, I feel like there definitely could be some more life out there for sure. I mean, you
Yeah.
think about all the different experiments that scientists do, whether it be animals, aliens, for instance. Like, I believe in that kind of stuff. I really do feel like it's out there for sure.
It's got to be. I mean, it's got to be. And we're going to get
And
into
I'm just,
aliens on this episode, which I'm excited about. But yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. But like those secret bases and stuff like that, like I just wonder. Like, it just makes you be like, I want, if I was a piece of dirt and could float around and actually get inside of there and actually look at some stuff, I would, well, I don't know. I say that I would like to see it, but I'm kind of okay with not knowing some stuff. It's okay. But
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like there's something to it for sure. And especially if you're not allowed around that area, like what y'all hiding? What's up in there?
exactly. Exactly. And growing up, all they taught us, or at least all I can recall that they taught us, is it's just a bunch of ice up there. It's just like the, North Pole or whatever. It's nothing up there but ice. And that's actually far from the truth. There's a lot going on up there. But honestly, I started seeing conspiracies about this many years ago. But only recently did I realize, like we said earlier, where there really is a treaty in place for literally everyone, not just America, it's everyone, where you cannot go past a certain point. That clued me in to there's some F-ish going on. That's the first clue.
Yeah.
Okay, but we watch Blue's Clues as millennials, and one thing about it, I'm gonna find the clue, and that is the red
Right.
herring.
It kind of makes me
Yeah.
thinking about some of the clips on Jurassic Park, and they always had like the caution tape up, and they like, don't go beyond this fence. And you're like, okay, well, why not? What's back there? Once you go in, you're like, oh, so this is what was back there. Absolutely. Yes.
And it's funny that you
It's
say
given very
Jurassic
much
Park.
Raptor.
Yeah, it's so funny that we're so connected. Because I like, if you really think about it, there were bones and stuff found. There's still being bones and stuff found in the earth, like just regular dirt, like in those areas, like just regular areas where it's just regular dirt, clay, whatever. So you have to think that there was some type of preservation done with ice as well, especially if the ice never melts. You know what I'm saying? Or even if it does melt, then it's gonna definitely expose some things. So I just think it's interesting because I'm like, I don't know. I do need to Google that to see if there have been any dinosaur remnants or anything like that found in Antarctica, because I would think that that's like a prime location to find things that once were, because it would ice over. It's just interesting. It's just something to think about, you guys. It's a good rabbit hole to go down for sure.
It is. Yeah, that brings up some good questions. It's one of those topics that does make you think, like, I wonder what's going on. And plus that makes me think about like how they were so key focused on global warming too. That's a whole nother situation as well, but that makes me think about that too.
Because are you nervous about our Earth, or are you nervous that something's about to come out because it's getting too warm and something's gonna be exposed out that ice? Which one
Right.
is it? Or both?
Right.
It could be both.
Right. Go ahead and highlight D for both B and C. Absolutely.
Right.
About Antarctica, that is a very good topic. That brings up a lot of good points. So thank you so much for sharing that one. So y'all, I am about to start talking about something that is way back there, y'all. This is like an OG story, but somebody did comment on Instagram and wanted us to touch on it, so that's what we're about to do. So y'all remember Lisa Left Eye Lopez, one of the members from TLC. So y'all know that she had a tragic accident back in 2002. She was on a spiritual trip and she ended up dying in a really, really bad car accident. She lost control of her SUV. So what did we do? We dug down the rabbit hole. So she was about to be married. They were actually making plans to be married from football star Andre Rison. Some of y'all might not know him, may be familiar with the name. And so, he was a football star. They were together. They kind of had like a really public relationship. It was really built on being a violent, pretty toxic environment when it came to their relationship. There was talk back and forth of her like burning his tennis shoes in a bathtub, and them kind of going back and forth, having spats about financial situations and stuff like that. So I took a deeper dive because I got a little curious, and I'm like, okay, so we know about Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Like, who is this Andre Rison person? So I kind of Googled him. And well, you know what? Before I released that, so the different people that Lisa Left Eye was kind of in the circle with were, so she dated Andre Rison, which we just talked about. She had a close relationship with Tupac Shakur, RIP to him. She also dated Wanye Morris from Boys to Men. I did not know that.
Me either.
She she had a close relationship with Suge Knight. These names sounding familiar to y'all? And then she also had a relationship allegedly with a guy named Sean Newman. Now I'm not familiar with his name either. But with that being said, I took a deep dive into Andre Rison and I'm like, who did he hang around? Who is this person? And do you know what name popped up when I Googled?
Diddy.
Puff Daddy.
I said that.
And
I knew it.
I said, now wait a minute. So rewind the clip. Now, all of the things that have been coming out about Puff Daddy, and I'm pretty sure we can speak about it. We're not going to do too much. I mean, allegedly all the things that came out in court and what he was about, different things that he did when he wanted to get back at somebody, how he would set the stage up and kind of like get the job done, if you will. I'm like, a car accident? And mind you, she had just signed the label to Death Row Records.
Hey,
So I was like,
yo.
oh wow.
You
Yeah,
should have.
yes.
Oh, snap. Because I'm like, how would she be with
Absolutely.
Suge? Death Row, let me just sidebar.
Yeah.
Death Row Records really lived up to its name. My lord.
Absolutely.
A little too
Absolutely.
much.
And when I seen that, I was like, my gosh, I just had chills looking at it because I'm like, this whole circle is giving run. So she had just signed on with that label, and she was also working with she was still with TLC and working on their album too, but she was coming out with a solo album named Nina. And so y'all, I took a little deeper dive, and so y'all are familiar with J. Cole, right? So he has a song called She Knows. And let me read some of the lyrics because I have chills just talking about it. So in his song, sip your drink.
Go ahead. I'm listening. Tell me more.
Yes. So in some of those lyrics, I just jotted down a couple because they just kind of stood out. First line says, "Bad things happen to the people you love. Show them that your color is black." When I think about the color black, I think about darkness, maybe evilness. It's giving that she didn't accidentally lose control over the SUV, allegedly. Something happened. Then it's another piece that stood out to me. It says, "Got me up so high, try and get a piece of that apple pie. Dance hall vibe with my pants on fire." I'm going to just let y'all fill in the blanks. Let your imagination go wherever you want it to. But when I read that, I read it twice and I was like, let me read what's not there. But yeah, it wasn't, I don't feel like it was an accident. What are your thoughts?
So, did he name the song after her? Did I miss that part? Where's the connection with J. Cole
No,
and
the
her?
name of the song. So with that, and that is the funny part because I don't think that they even knew each other, if I'm not mistaken. But he
Okay.
kind of mentioned three different names at the end of the
Um,
song, and he mentioned Michael Jackson, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, and
ooh,
Aaliyah, and he was like, "I'll see you when I die," basically. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
what an odd thing to
And if we
say.
know about those, right. And I'm like, those three people, because we know, especially Aaliyah. Now that could go a whole nother way as well.
Yeah, that's a
But I
whole
was just
deep
like,
dive too.
wow. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm just like, ooh, because that second line about the trying to get a piece of the apple pie, like it makes me think about the industry now. Like how toxic the
Mhm.
industry is. Like it's
Yeah, because if you
scary.
think about what's that show? I finally got a piece of the pie. Good times. I do think that is
Yeah.
the industry, success, all the things. Yeah. Now, I will
Mhm.
say, left, unlike some people when they first pass away, hers immediately, from what I can recall, and I think we were adolescents at that point. From what I recall,
Mhm.
it was immediate speculation. It was like, this is not, it was
Yep.
very similar to,
Mhm.
but I would say even more than Aaliyah, because with Aaliyah, it was like, oh, it's a plane crash. Like, well, we do know that planes crash. Like, that's a thing, right? So it's like, even though, yeah, I
Yep.
started hearing things pretty quickly, I feel like Left Eyes was even more so immediately. People weren't accepting it for what was being told. They were like,
Mhm.
no.
Yep. Mhm. Yeah, and it's because they probably knew, like more of the people that she hung around, and probably a little bit how more of the industry worked, and they was like, yeah, no, that is definitely foul play. Oh, and
Mm-hmm.
I had even read too that Andre Ricin was having financial issues in August of 2002, and she passed away April 25th of 2002. So I'm just like, there's a lot of different pieces. And I even watched this video with Andre Rice, and they were asking him, how do you feel after the passing of Lisa and all of this? And I know everybody grieves different, and facial expressions are not going to be the same, but there's just something off putting about how he looked in that video.
I'm gonna have to go look that one up.
Mhm.
So was she the only one who died?
Uh-huh. So there were 7 other passengers and she was the only one. She was the only one. Yep. Cuz she was
See,
actually on a trip with her brother, her sister, and there was a driver, like a local driver that were there, and a few members from this R&B group called Egypt, and she was the only one that passed away. Yep.
that's suspicious AF. Like, yeah.
It is.
Cause what? What's the odds of like 7 or 8 people being in a vehicle and like having this really bad car accident and only one dies. Now I hear about one surviving amongst the 7, but I don't think I've heard many stories of like just one person that, like, with it being that many people anyways, that many people, and then like literally the one that dies happens to be the superstar.
Right.
Okay, if that's what y'all want to say.
Yeah.
Conspiracy. Okay.
It's definitely giving us a side eye.
Because
Absolutely.
was she already dead before the accident? Allegedly, that sounds weird. And here's the thing: I think they were out there doing one of those like Dr. Sadie, if you heard that kind of thing, like all those different type of healings, and it's this like really big psychedelic drug. I think they were doing a lot of different things down there in the jungle. So who's to say something went wrong and it was an accident? And she did not come out of it. So then now it's like, okay, well, what's the, like no one wants to go to jail over this. So it's like, okay, what should we do? Well, maybe let's just stage this car accident. I don't know. That just seems so unlikely that only one person out of all those people passes away. And it's the star.
Yes. That
Okay,
is
that's a
the
good one,
crazy part.
girl.
And I'm just like, wow. Yes. Going down that rabbit hole, I was like, oh my gosh. And then to find out like the circle that Andre hung around, I'm just like, yeah, it's not looking too good.
And
But
you know
yet
what?
and
I'm
still,
not
it's
even
just like,
saying that
wow.
Suge is irresponsible for all these deaths, but at some point,
No.
if people were just like dropping like flies around me, at some point, I'd be like,
Yeah.
y'all cool? Like, what's
Yeah.
the hell going on? Like, I
Right.
would feel weird, like whether he's involved or not. Like, we have no inkling that he was involved, but it's just interesting to me the amount of people on his record label or just even surrounding him in general have passed away, and it's just like you're still standing. It's just very odd to me. Very odd.
It
But
is.
that was a great one, girl.
Yes. Let's tag team. Tag, you're it. What you got?
Yay! So naturally, after talking about Death Row Records, we're going to talk about Justin Bieber because that makes sense to me. I don't know about y'all.
Absolutely.
So, you guys, we're going to do a bit of a twofer. So, Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez, which, if you're a millennial like me, they go together like peanut butter and jelly. Even though they're not currently together in today's time, for me, anyways, that will always be a connection I will make. Just like kind of like the Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake thing, but probably even more so. Where there's Justin, I just feel like Selena, they just go together real good. Anyways, my opinion. So we're going to talk about some conspiracies with Justin and then some conspiracies with Selena. And then I have one conspiracy I'm going to throw in there as an honorable mention that has to do with both of them and a Kardashian. Let's get into it.
Ooh.
Okay. So, Justin Bieber, some common conspiracy theories for him is some people claim that he was replaced by a clone or body double after rising to fame. That's pretty typical one for a lot of celebrities, so that doesn't like shock me. Another rumor says that he was controlled by the music industry or secret groups. That's not shocking. Viral videos claim that he was a shapeshifter or that he did shapeshift on video into a reptilian figure during interviews or concerts. Boom, let's start there. I personally have watched that video more times than I would like to admit. And whether it's reptilian or not, something happened to that boy. Okay? I think we all know something happened to that boy. And the way the pipeline is between him and P. Diddy here he comes up again, is a little too close to me. Okay? A little too close to me, and it's giving something I can't say online. But yeah, like I do think P. Diddy had more victims than we will ever know. And I'm not saying that he is one. I'm just saying, anyways, something happened to Justin. Obviously, there's been a shift in his artistry. There's been a shift in how he reacts to people, how he just seems so numb and not there. His soul just doesn't seem to be there, if you know what I mean. And I'm not even one of those people who like gives into the whole, you sell your soul if you're a celebrity. I really actually don't give into that as much as most would think. But like, he really just seems like a shell of himself. What do you think about that, Maria?
I believe so. We've seen Justin Bieber grow up in the limelight, like you have mentioned, and he does seem like he is a lot different. There was this one video, since you did speak about him and the connection with P Diddy, just not to say they're too long, but the way that he just kind of different people that he would be around in the industry, how he kind of had like a little hesitant type of body language. And I'm just like, something is not right with that. And you can always count on a child, because at that time he was young. I don't even think he was 18 yet. And you
Mm-mm,
can always tell body language. Like if they don't feel safe, then you are going to see it. And
for
he just
sure.
kind of had like this standoffish persona.
Mm-hmm.
And there is something absolutely wrong. There was a clip when he was on this famous talk show. Yeah, because I'm gonna leave the name out, but if y'all seen it, y'all seen it. He was on this talk show, and there were like some little jokes made to him, and he just kind of like, you can just kind of look at his facial expressions, like, no, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not cool with that. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
It's way more than just like you said, like the typical industry situation.
And I would like
Hmm.
to just add, I actually think him and Britney Spears went through a similar situation, but because he's a boy or a
Mm-hmm.
man, we didn't see it as erratic as we saw Britney, right? Britney shaved the head and he also shaved his head. But a lot of people don't correlate. It's just like, oh, he decided to get a haircut. Cool, new trend. But it's just like, no, like if you look at how Britney's decline happened, Justin Bieber has a very similar decline, like very oddly similar. Like when it comes to the paparazzi and it, like when he first was, he was talking to the paparazzi. He's like, hey, talking to his fans, now he barely talks to fans. He barely talks to paparazzi. I kind of understand the paparazzi part. I get it, especially with social media now. It's a whole thing. Everything can be clipped. So I understand that. But
Yeah.
just, it's so interesting to me how those are so parallel. And a lot of people, I have personally not heard a lot of people clock that. And it's just something I've recently started thinking about, like getting this podcast together. I was like, this sounds like Britney's, like you can literally almost like put Britney into it. And it's the same. It was like the same situations were happening minus the P Diddy part, which I'm sure if we dig hard enough, she probably went to a Diddy party too. We don't know, allegedly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's, yeah. I just think that's interesting.
I was gonna say that stood out to me too when you were talking about the shaving of the head, because I know that there's like different theories around that too when it comes to Britney Spears and her head being shaved. But it also
Mm-hmm.
made me think about, like on the women's side, when we want to start over or get away from something, what's the first thing that we do? We change our hair.
Okay.
So it's like, what were y'all trying to get over? What traumatic happened that you wanted to shave your head and start over? If that was the reasoning behind it.
Exactly. This is
That is
crazy.
good.
So Selena Gomez. This one should be pretty quick. A lot of Selena's is actually still ongoing and happening as we speak. There's been a lot of weird videos. First off, I do not like her fiance, husband, whoever he is, Benny, whatever. He gives me the absolute creeps, and I'm not a psychic or anything like that, but I feel things. I'm a very big empath, and I would say I have some type of gift or something. It's not psychic, but it's like I feel people's energies and different things like that. Probably maybe sometimes more than someone else would. So I pick up on it really fast. He
You.
literally gives me the heebie-jeebies. Sorry, he just does.
Ooh.
And so it's
Mhm.
been a lot of recent. So ever since she started dating him, to me, that's when her decline happened. But let's read on what people are saying. So some internet rumors claim she was blacklisted by powerful industry figures. Others say certain songs containing hidden messages about past relationships or industry experiences. A theory also claims her health struggles were connected to stress from the entertainment industry. She does have lupus. I will say that she does have lupus. I think a lot of times people are looking at her physical appearance, and I actually do think a lot of her physical appearance is because of the lupus diagnosis and everything. I think she's very pale now. She does, certain things like that, I think is because of the situation she has going on with her health.
Mm.
Some fans speculate about secret feuds or manipulation behind a celebrity friendship. So with Selena, hers is more of, like I said before, like that surface level, like, oh, the industry did this to you. Definitely. I think 9 times out of 10, if you get in the industry and you make it as big as Selena and Justin's and Brittany, the industry is going to make you a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, regardless of any other conspiracy occurring. Hers is more of that. But like I said, there's a lot happening currently. A few days ago, it was a video that went viral that shows like her boy or her fiance. He streams a lot with other streamers. So I don't know if you've watched Twitch streams and stuff like that. I hate them so much, but like, so it's like a continuous stream or whatever. And so Selena comes in the room as they're streaming. It's him and another dude, and Benny has his like feet up on the like I don't know if it was a table or ottoman or something. So she sits down next to him and she's listening to him or whatever, and she kind of is acting a little weird, but whatever. And then all of a sudden she like kisses his toe, which mind you, his feet were not clean. She kisses his toes, guys. I'll put a screenshot. I don't think I'm gonna put the video, but I might try to put a screenshot here for you guys to see. But I almost gagged. It was disgusting. First of all,
Absolutely.
I'm not doing that.
Clean
Like,
the feet.
yeah, it was just weird. It was like a weird move to do. Like, okay, if y'all maybe are to me, even if they were in a room by themselves, and I mean, there's so many other places to kiss, honey. So we just know some people like feet like that. We are not going to keep shame. But to do that as someone's streaming and she's aware that someone's, and it's like, oh, well, I'm going to do it. And it was just like, I don't know if she was on something. I don't know. But it was just very odd. You have to see the video, though. It's so odd.
Look up that video because, ma'am, not doing the streaming service. What are we doing?
Have you noticed anything about Selena Gomez yourself?
Yeah, like the most I have, because I haven't followed her that much, but just her appearance. And when you were talking about lupus, it can really change like your looks and everything. Because I know Toni Braxton, she suffers from lupus, and that can like make your face puffy and change your complexion and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I will say that she has looked a little bit different from older pictures than now, and not too much older pictures. I don't even think they're like 10 years apart. But I mean, when you don't feel well, you can look a lot different depending on what you have going on. And lupus it's a tough one.
That's the only reason why I'm like, when I see the things about the face and everything, I'm like, let's give a little grace. Okay, so now the honorable mention here at the end for Selena and Justin is, bear with me here, guys. Again, this is another one y'all can rabbit hole on your own if you'd like. I'm going to go really fast on this one, but it's a little bit juicy. So they are saying that back when Selena and Justin were together, that Selena did get pregnant. They're saying she got pregnant. It was a oopsie boopsie, but they knew that would alter both of their careers, and they knew that they could not keep the baby. So it is speculated, allegedly said that Kourtney Kardashian's son is Selena and Justin's baby. Now hear me out. I forgot the name of the kid, and I should have looked that up right before I got on here, but I can't recall right now I can't remember what the name of the kid is called. But anyways, it don't matter. It's a minor, so that's fine. But they're saying that, like, if you look at that kid, and I have looked at, he looks just like Justin Bieber. Like, no lie.
Oh my God.
Looks just like Justin Bieber. Now, I don't know if I buy into this. It's just an interesting one that I think it's worth looking into for you guys if you like stuff like that. But yeah, go look into it. There's a lot of other things that people kind of put together on that. I'm very interested because there was this time where Kourtney and Justin were like this. Kourtney Kardashian and Justin were like this. So they're saying either it's that or Kourtney and Justin hooked up and Kourtney got pregnant, and that was I'm more likely to believe that than the Selena and Justin, and then you give up that's a little much for me. But the Justin with Kourtney one, that makes sense, because there was this weird time where Kourtney was hanging out with Justin Bieber, and I was like, this is not making sense to me. Why? That was that.
Brings up a lot of questions.
Yeah, makes you think.
Yeah, so y'all, if y'all go down that rabbit hole and check it out, let us know down in the comments what you found out and what you think.
Definitely. Tag your it.
A really good one. Poor Justin. Like every time I see him now, I'm just like, oh my gosh, 'cause he's been through so much.
He just looks so sad.
He does. And I remember that clip. I think it was an award show or a performance, and SZA brought him up on the stage, and they had their moment on the stage. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, everybody was thinking about how heartfelt that was, and they was like, we can tell Justin needed that. He needed that release.
But he also, yes, so there was two parts of that. I'm glad you brought that up. I can't believe I forgot to put that on there. That was a more recent thing that happened last year. And yes, when I first watched it, I was like, this is so sweet. Like, he needed that, blah, blah. And then I kept watching it. And I was like, he's on something. He's 100% on something. So if you go back and watch it with that mindset of it, you're gonna see it. And I said, now this feels a little more sad. I don't know which one to believe. It's really tough. I don't know. It could go either way, but my initial response was the same, that this was amazing. SZA really handled him very well on stage. But yeah.
Yeah, and that's and that can be a whole nother podcast subject, but it's kind of like after it's like some people that end up in the industry after so many things happen to them. Like, yes, I'm pretty sure that what they see and witness is traumatizing, depending on what it is, but they're just zombified and like they do have to stay
Yeah.
drugged up just to function throughout the day to
Yeah.
day. That is
Yeah.
crazy, y'all. Oh man, watching people grow up is so hard, especially
It's
when you just like,
hard.
I wish I could like warn you. Yes.
Yeah.
So y'all, now we are about to dig into so this was a part of my popcorn and opinions earlier, but we have to go into the whole Jim Carrey thing. So y'all, I was literally doing my research and looking into all the situations. I ended up stumbling upon this podcast show, and if I find the name of the podcast again, I will put it in this video. But y'all, what I found, everything I'm about to say is alleged. The podcast that was speaking on it, it was alleged things. We don't know for sure, but it got serious. It got real, y'all. So we about to get into it. So I know we were saying earlier, we know we grew up with Jim Carrey. We know him. We love him. And we don't think that he would do anything like this. Y'all, when I started digging, so if you go back and watch some of the different interviews that Jim Carrey has done, he is always bringing up different things like spiritually, kind of like spiritually and scientifically, y'all. And so what this podcast was doing was breaking down and basically saying like Jim Carrey was setting the stage for himself this whole time and into his transformation. So they are saying allegedly that that person that we seen on their red carpet is actually Jim Carrey and he has like reinvented himself. Y'all, it was just crazy. And I'm just like,
Oh,
excuse me, huh?
I haven't heard that
Yes.
take. That's a good one.
And so basically they went back and I think you even referenced it the other day. You were talking about the Truman Show, that movie with Jim Carrey. And they were like some of the answers, if you go back and pay attention to it, like he was blatantly telling us what he was setting up to do this whole time. In that recent interview that he did on one of the Jimmy shows, I can't remember which one it was,
Mm-hmm.
but he was displaying a certain symbol. They were saying that was just letting us know like he's not really exposing, but he's saying that he's been a part of it this whole time and his plan to transform himself. And I was
Right.
like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's too much. So how do you feel about them? So now that we're like, up on the whole AI situation or people getting
Mhm.
switched out and the clones, how do you feel about the whole Jim Carrey situation?
So I really love the take that you just, or the theory that you just put out. I have not heard that theory yet, and so I'm excited because that one
Yeah.
feels more real to me than the whole Alex Stone or whatever his name is doing the mask
Yes.
thing. I don't think that's true. If anyone's wearing a mask, it's Jim Carrey himself wearing his own mask. If that makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
But I will say it is more aligned for Jim Carrey to do this as some type of either social experiment to some degree or something like that. I've heard, and I'm like, that is on par with the Jim Carrey sound bites and videos that we've been fed for the last few years. Now, it's interesting because I don't know when he made this whole transition into that, but it's been for several years now. So it would just be very weird to me for him to all of a sudden care about us enough, all of us enough, to go and get plastic surgery and Botox. It just doesn't make sense. A lot of people also think that this is for a role. That also would track to me if this was for a role and they were testing out a theory or testing something out, which you mentioned this the other day to me, and I think this is maybe a good moment to talk to them about your theory about a movie that he did once.
Yes, The Mask. So, y'all, I had the pleasure of going back and watching that movie, and I was like, okay. So, there was, if y'all remember the movie a little bit, there was this therapist that he would go and see. And so this guy had this book, and he named it The Mask That People Wear. And the way that they described it in the movie is like you put on this mask, and the way that it works is whatever kind of inner thoughts that you have, the mindset that you have, that's what comes out when you have this mask on. And if you kind of think about it, kind of industry wise, you know how people will have alter egos. And so I just kind of started thinking about that when it came to this whole Jim Carrey situation. I'm like, huh. And you made a good point saying that this is something that you do feel like he could have set up this whole time as an experiment just to see how people would react to it. That definitely does sound like Jim Carrey would do something like that and then just come back and kind of explain it or something. Like, Jim, give us something.
Or even come back, and because he said he would never come back and do acting unless it was just this big thing that he believed in. What if the big thing is a mask movie, but it's taking a darker tone to it or a deeper tone, kind of like the Bel Air show, the Fresh Prince of Bel Air show. They kind of took what the TV show was and kind of made it more dark, but it just made it more of a dramatical thing versus like comical. And I'm wondering, because The Mask was pretty comical, even though it had some little nuggets in there here and there, it was overall a comedy. And what if he wants to do a reboot of it, but he's like, no, I'm not just going to do a reboot and like ha 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 around the screen. What if we do a reboot and show the dark side of The Mask? That is something I feel like Jim Carrey would do. That kind of gives me like chills up. Look, I do think he's alive and well. I do think he is alive and well. I truly do believe that, but I just can't imagine that not being him in any capacity. Physically, like that was not Jim Carrey. I don't buy that. You know what I mean?
Right. Because it's a lot of telltale signs with the facial structure, the eyes, even the hair. And another thing, so when I kept looking at that picture, there was a movie, and it's escaping me right now, that Keanu Reeves played in, and he had that exact look almost. And there's a video that popped up on Instagram, and it had half of Keanu Reeves' face and that character that he played, and then half of that Jim Carrey. And I said, it gave me chills because I'm like, this is exactly what I was thinking about earlier.
For sure. 100%.
So there's this other video that's coming around, like this AI character of Jim Carrey, and they're like, all the time y'all thought it wasn't him, but he's alive and well in such and such, like wherever the people are, like California or New Zealand. And I'm like, y'all, that is not him. It's creepy, and then it's just like, wow. So it's like, I don't know. That can just go a lot of different ways. And that's why I was like, I'm going to lightly touch on it because it can get really deep. Like that video that I watched earlier was a lot.
I'm glad you actually mentioned The Truman Show, because while you were talking, I was listening, but I also was listening with my ADHD brain. I can do half and half. So I was also thinking, and I said, now that I think about it, all the Jim Carrey movies that I've seen, now there are probably some that I didn't see, but all of the ones that I saw had an interesting skewed message to it. So like Truman Show it's a mind bending thing. Like you're like, yeah, sometimes I do be feeling like, y'all just watching me somewhere? Because this is crazy. That's how I be feeling. So it's like, okay, yeah, this could be something that's real. Mask. Okay, cool. That was very comical. But like I said, there were some nuggets in there. Hidden nuggets where if you watch those movies, especially as an adult, and you will see some of the lessons or things that he was trying to say in the movie. And then just like Liar Liar also was a comical movie, but that had so many nuggets in it. So many, like you could attest that to the industry and things like that too. So if you go back and watch certain ones, like I just feel like he was very intentional with every movie that he did. You can probably write an essay about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
And also Bruce Almighty as well. Him and Morgan Freeman.
Yes, right? And wasn't that one of his
Mm-hmm.
last things? If not the last thing?
Yes. And also to add on to that, because when I was watching that video earlier from the other podcast show, they almost kind of made it sound like when it comes to the industry and, you know, the symbols and all of that, that it's its own thing. Like it's its own religion and all of that. That's why I was like, if y'all want to, just go ahead, take you a deep dive into it, go do your own
Hmm.
research. But it gets really, it's a lot of layers to it, y'all.
That's a hot topic one right
Mhm.
now, you guys. That's ongoing. That's another ongoing one. So we'll just keep y'all updated if some more updates. Because we have to say he has
Absolutely.
not came out with a formal statement, correct?
No, he is not. I seen
Right.
like different things where they're saying like his publicist said something,
Right.
and it's all like little hearsay pieces, but not him.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, where are you?
We love you,
Comment on
Jim.
this video. We need to know
We
your
hope
state.
you're well. We hope you're well wherever you are or are not. We
Yes.
hope you're well, sir. For sure. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no good way to there's no smooth way to go into this next one, but I am so excited. This one that we're going to talk about next is, everybody go get your foil. Go get your foil, make your little tin hat, because we about to get into it. Yes, let's get into aliens. I'm so excited because this is obviously one of the biggest go-to conspiracy theories. There's so many documentaries about this. There's so many videos. There's so much that you can, fall into the rabbit holes into. It's so many layers to it. But we're gonna go over some brief things, and then just talk about kind of like what we think about it. And just kind of get into it, guys. So I want to go into it first by talking about the abduction of it all. So as we know,
Oh yeah.
aliens, there again, we could go a little deeper, but we're not going to do that today. But there are different, like, allegedly different species of aliens. So they're not just like little green men or whatever. Like, there's different kinds of aliens. So just keep that in mind. But anyways, there's a few fun facts about aliens and alien abduction. People worldwide say they believe they've been abducted or contacted by aliens. In the U.S. alone, the most famous abduction case is happened in 1961, the case of Betty and Barney Hill, who claimed aliens abducted them while driving in New Hampshire. Now, I remember seeing this on a documentary a very long time ago, probably like when I was in my 20s, and I was immediately obsessed. Like, obsessed. Have you heard about that one before?
I think I did hear about that.
Yeah. And yeah, this was just kind of crazy. And the fact that it was in 1961, I'm just like, I just feel like something happened. Like, I feel like if people said that now, it's like, okay, AI or whatever. Like, this is 1961, you guys. Like, these people have no reason to lie.
Right.
Like, they ain't got time for that in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
It was so many more fish to fry, okay, in the 60s. Like, didn't nobody have time to be getting no abducted, or, like doing a hoax or whatever. It says no alien abduction has ever been scientifically proven, but most scientists attribute these experiences to sleep paralysis, false memories, dreams, or psychological factors, which is such BS. There's just no, like,
Mm-hmm.
such BS. And I'll tell you why later, you guys. I'll tell you why I personally believe in this ish. UFO
Mm-hmm.
sightings are much more common than abduction claims. For example, thousands of sightings have been reported to organizations and government agencies. Of UFO reports found no evidence of extraterrestrial technology or alien life. Between 1947 and 1969, the U.S. Air Force Project Blue Book investigation over 12,000 UFO sightings. There's some more that they put here, but like, let's jump into this, you guys. J, I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. So, I'm kind of just thinking about all those numbers that you just gave.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot.
That's a
Like that is
lot.
a whole
Everybody can be
lot.
lying.
Immediately, anytime I think about aliens, I always think about the movie E.T. Now let's just stop there, okay?
Go home.
Because again, we were talking about how things are hidden in plain sight. In movies, they don't just fall out the sky. There's a thought process behind it. So, why do we have movies on aliens if they don't really exist for real?
Exactly.
So, I believe in all of it. And I'm just like, that's just so weird. So, those people that, and I know it's like so easy for you to hear something and be like, oh, yeah, that person's crazy. They didn't really see that.
Mm-hmm.
They, whatever. Yes, they
Mm-hmm.
did. It's mind boggling for real, seriously. Like, I totally believe in it and all of the things, but just to have like that kind of personal experience with it, which I have. So, little story time for you guys. I do this all the time in our episodes.
You cannot trick me. You tricked me. You tricked me. I didn't know you had one. This is great.
So one time I was standing outside. It was a dark and gloomy night. No, it was not gloomy, but it was a dark night. So I'm looking up in the sky and I'm just kind of like, okay, so I can tell the difference between a helicopter and a plane and a, not so normal object in the sky. So I believe I did have an experience with the UFO. I seen like this little round thing in the sky, and there was a green light blinking on the top of it. I kid you not. I promise you. I promise you. I could. I could call my witness in this room right now.
Mention, you guys, Maria J did not tell me the story before now. Just keep that in mind.
No.
I have no recollection of this.
It moved across the sky so quick. It's like you seen it and then it was gone. And I'm just like, wait a minute, what was that? A plane does not move that fast. And why is a jet in the sky at this time of night? Like, it was almost like around, yes, it was late in the night. It had to be, I know for sure, like it was after 10 or 11 o'clock. And I'm just like, no, what was that in the sky?
When
and
did this happen?
This was probably back around 2012, 13, 14, something around that area. And I'm just like, what is that in the sky? And then also another thing that happened, this was like a couple of years ago, but I seen like this like white jellyfish cloud type of situation in the sky. And I'm like, okay, so what is that? And I wish I would have got that on film. I wish I would have got both of those. Now, this experience I'm talking about that happened a couple of years ago, I did have my phone in my hand and I might have taken a picture of it. If I can find it, I would definitely put it in here. But I'm just like, what is that? But it's so weird because it's like it blew like a mist, a puff of smoke or something, and then it just kind of floated back into the clouds. And I'm like, yeah, no, that was definitely something extra. It's giving ET phone home. Because what is that?
You guys, let me tell you why I'm just literally about to pass out. Okay, I'm about to pass out. Okay, so you guys, I too have had watch them call the law on both of us after this because we need to be in straight jail. They're gonna be highly concerned after this episode. I too have had an I'm not gonna say an extraterrestrial experience. I've had a UFO sighting experience. Okay, so here was mine. Put yourself back in 2020. So in 2020, I usually worked either night shift or overnight shift. This night I worked overnight. This night I worked night shift, which was a 3 to 11 p.m. shift. So mind you, I'm coming back home around probably sometime between 11:15 and 11:30. At that time, I worked in Carrollton and lived in McKinney, Texas. So it's maybe about like a 25-minute drive, maybe, I don't know, depending on traffic. Let's say 25 minutes for the sake of it. So I'm driving and I'm not sleepy. I'm not tired. I'm tired, but I'm not like sleepy. So this is not some kind of like hazed out thing. I'm driving as normal as I always do. I'm actually more wired than anything. So I'm driving home, and if anyone knows Dallas or McKinney area, I was on Sam Rayburn Highway traveling towards McKinney, so I guess going north. And there's a Kroger that's right there, kind of near Custer Road-ish area. But there's a Kroger over there. And at that time, I think it was actually pretty new. I was driving and I saw this like in the distance before I even got to the Kroger parking lot. Like I just started seeing, I had just gotten on Sam Rayburn. And I saw this light in the front, but we see planes all the time, especially out in McKinney. You see planes, like helicopters, all the things. Like, I'm not, like, it's not weird to see something like coming towards you in a way. So I'm like, okay. But it was just one of those things, like, I'm clocking it. I'm looking and I'm like, oh, getting closer. All right, buddy, you're getting a little closer. So it's just like coming closer. And I'm just like, okay. something told me, pull your phone out. Now, mind you, I'm driving. So please, kids, don't try this at home. I do not recommend this. I absolutely was risking my life, but okay. And I don't know for sure if I'm going to add this or not. I'm kind of scared to do it. So we'll see, you guys, but maybe I can put in screenshots for you. Okay, pause the story. So you know how people that don't believe in this stuff always say, well, if that's so real, why didn't you get it on video? Or if you did get it on video, why is every alien video so grainy? You guys, I have a theory. Whatever these UFOs are emitting some type of something that our phones cannot pick up. Only our eyes can pick it up, and that's probably barely. But our phones can't pick up this thing, because I'm telling you guys, I took my phone out. I'm seeing this thing getting closer, and I'm like also on the highway. So I'm like, what's going on? It's going slowly like over to where the Kroger parking lot is. So I'm filming this, and and at the time, obviously I'm driving. So like, I'm not looking at what I'm filming. I'm just making sure it's in the frame. I'm assuming that everything looks non-blurry, because why would it be blurry? So anyways, I film everything, and I even get off the highway, because eventually I realized I'm about to unalive myself. And so I was like, let me get off the highway. So I get off the highway because I also wanted to get out of my car and get a better shot. I get off the highway in the matter of like literally, I want to say it took me 4 seconds to get off the highway. I'm getting off the highway. I see it and I'm like, what is that? It's like, that was the other thing. Like I said, it was slowly coming closer. Now here's Kroger. Here's Kroger parking lot. Here's the thing. Okay. And to me, it looked like something I hadn't seen before. And it had like a little thing right here. And I can't say if lights were all around it, but I know for sure there was, with my eyes, I could see like 3 big, like pot light looking things. Like there were lights, right? So whatever source it was, like it was sources of light. So from right here, it was 3 of them. And so I was like, okay. So then I get off, and that was what I was saying. Sorry, I'm getting too excited. It was hovering. It was no longer moving. So that is also what clued me in. I said, baby, this is not a helicopter. This is, first off, a helicopter, you will see the propellers. There were no propellers.
Yes.
At all. There were no wings at all. There was nothing even remotely close to a propeller or wings. Right? And I know you can say, oh, it was a drone. It was not a drone. At this time, drones weren't even that like big yet. And they were definitely not that big in size. This was the size of a helicopter, but it wasn't a helicopter, but it was the same size, right? So a drone is not going to be the size of a helicopter. It's just not. So anyways, so I get off. And mind you, it was hovering. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get off. It was a perfect place to get off. And like, I get off there, and I remember like just looking one more time, like where it is. And also I wanted to make sure no one was coming on the side road, because I didn't want to get hit by a car. Why was it like, this is my car. This is like where it was hovering. I just exited. It was here. Why, when I look again, it's up here? No. Like it looks like it looks like a speck in the sky now to my eyes.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that might be a plane or something. It must be. And so I literally got in my car and said, no, it must be above my car or something, because like there's no way that was that. There was no way that in the middle, like literally seconds of me exiting and parking like right there on the freaking side road. That is so freaking weird. It's just stalling there. I know somebody else got to see this. It's crazy. It's just there. It looks so far away on camera, but it's literally right here. cannot be the only one seeing this right now. This is crazy. What is that? Oh my God. What is that? Oh my God. I don't want to get into a car crash, but what? I'm about to exit. This is crazy. What is that? Hold on. This is insane. What is that? Where did it go? Oh my God, I'm about to like crash. And it just went right back up into the sky. No. That it went up that high to where it just like literally went up so high. And I was like, there's just no way that any craft that we are aware of would ever do that. So of course I'm freaking out. In the video, you're gonna hear me say, "What the heck was that? What was that? What was it? What was that? What was it?" I freaked out for days after, like so long after this. So I get home, I show it to my mom. I thought it was creepy. My mom was like, "You're crazy." Okay, cool. So many weeks later, I was telling, it could have been months later, I don't know. But I had those videos in my phone. Honestly, I was too scared to look at them after that night, so I didn't look at them anymore. So anyways, they're getting buried by more photos and videos throughout time. So me and my coworker were talking about aliens and things like that. And I said, "Oh yeah, that reminds me, like back, earlier this year, like I, shot this video or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, let me see if I can find it." So I went to go try to find it. And like I said, it probably had been months at that point. And at that point, my kid was really tiny. I was taking 1,000 pictures a day. So it's buried. And I'm just like, I can't find it. I know it was in 2020, but I can't find it. And then just something like came to my brain, like search UFO in your phone. Even though I'm like, well, that wouldn't work because I never said the words UFO in the video. That is very important to remember. I don't believe that I said the words UFO. I'll double check. I'll fact check myself. But I don't believe I said the words UFO. It definitely, nothing on the video said UFO. So that is how your phone technology works. Like I can look up certificate and it's going to show you everything that it thinks is a certificate. Why, you guys, when I put in UFO, do those videos come up? Why? By the standard of what my phone is supposed to search in my photos and videos is supposed to do, those videos should not come up if I put UFO. It just should not. Now, if I'm lying and I said UFO in the video, even though I feel like that technology was not even there that smart at that time to even pick up what I'm saying in the video, I think you still had to see it on the video. But anyways, that's a whole other thing. But if it is, I'll fact check it and put it right here. But you guys, that like gave me the heebie freaking jeebies. I cannot explain that. I have not had anything like that happen since. I think when I was a kid, I saw a lot of different things in the sky because I grew up in the country where there were no lights and stuff. There were no planes going around and stuff like that. So I feel like I've seen things before that was a little, what's that? But nothing like I did that night. I will never forget it. It was 2020. Obviously, a lot of other crap was happening that year that was unexplainable and crazy too. But that just was absolutely insane. And I'll never forget it.
That is a crazy story, but I believe every bit of it. Like the way you were explaining how, like, you just moved to the side road. At first, it was here, and then it's way up there.
It's way like in a millisecond. And what's also weird is because I watch a lot of documentaries on this, a lot of YouTube videos on this, a lot of podcasts on this, and there's so many things that are similar. And I never even finished my whole theory on the blurry thing. So, like I said, when I went home, I reviewed it, and I was telling my mom, like, I got it so clear. The whole time when you go back to the video, it looks like a ball of like just light. It don't even show the shapes that I saw. It doesn't show anything of like distinction. You only see a ball of light. Now you do see the ball of light. You see it hovering and all that, but it will not show any details. You guys, that's insane. Like that's insane to me. Yeah. I was too close to it for it not to be in focus. It looked like it was out of focus, but everything around it is in focus. So why would that be the one thing not in focus? So in my opinion, that's why there's not a lot of good footage of it, because I think it emits some type of energy that will not allow our phones to, it can't handle it. That's creepy.
That makes me think about like how our phone cameras, if you like use our phone camera and you go across something that has a phone camera and you see like that flashing red light, like how they kind of contrast against each other. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. gosh.
I can't explain
It
that.
is so many weird things. Yes. All right. So, you guys, we covered a lot of information tonight. Unfortunately, this will have to be a part 2, y'all, because it is so much stuff to think about. So, thank y'all so much for chilling with us and going through all the different rabbit holes and avenues and the different opinions that we have for tonight's show. Also, make sure that you are following us on YouTube and Spotify under Vibes and Side Eyes podcast. And I guess we're going to see y'all, in a part 2.
Absolutely. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, we're going to have a party in the comments. Go down there and tell us some conspiracy theories that you love, and it might make it on the pod.
Yes. All right. So until next time, you guys, we have been the Vibes and the.
Ta-da!
All right. Bye, y'all.